This is episode 76 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, here trying to find out if Tri-Fighters are still bad.
Yes, but fun.
They are fun.
That's half the battle.
And the new ones do work as ships. Like, I will admit that. They do just work.
So,
They're just, not good.
So Sam and I are both practicing for the upcoming Hexiled Team event. Which I'm looking forward to. I really like the rules behind it, the splitting of factions. For people who haven't seen the announcement, 3 people teams, and each team member must play in a different era, so prequels, original trilogy, and sequels. And Scum can fill in anywhere, but only one person can play Scum. So Sam's unsurprisingly taking the prequels with Separatists.
Yep.
Fellow Tin Tony is taking the sequels with First Order, which leaves me basically Rebels, Empire, or Scum. And so, to start with, I'm going to take Scum for a spin, because I like Scum. Scum is fun. So, let's jump straight into the lists. And my Scum list, nice simple, 3 ships. All of them very good. One of them I haven't flown before this match, but Bobber and Kanan. Kanan with Maul, so, standard 2 force. Bobber with Fearless, Proton Bombs, Contraband, Slave 1 title, Ahsoka, Tano, Crew, and Veteran Tail Gunner. Pretty standard stuff. And the one I haven't flown yet is Rook Cast in the Gauntlet, because all of my Scum Gauntlet was before Maul got nerfed, and I was flying Maul. But Rook actually, for 7 points, has a really interesting ability, which is, before you engage, you may take a strain token. If you are, I think it's if you do, while you perform an attack, you may change one of your blanks or focuses to a hit. So it's just passive mods, which is always good.
It's literally Fearless, but at any range.
Yeah. I don't even need. You don't even need to be in your front arc. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's Fearless without half of the requirements, I guess I should say.
Yeah. He has got Contraband Cybernetics and Notorious. And then he's also got the Drop Seat Bay to give me an extra crew slot. And then the Child and the Mandalorian. The Child obviously gives people the Merciless Pursuit condition, which means that they can pick up 3 locks. But I gain 2 cheap force, which I only regain when I take damage. Apart from the Mandalorian, who gives a white reinforce, but more importantly, has the ability, if you did not defend this round, during the end phase, you may recover 1 of your non-recurring force. So what it means is that regardless of whether I'm getting shot or whether I'm not getting shot, I've got good force regen on that ship. If I am getting shot, the other ships are likely getting strained. And then I've got, with the force and Rook's ability, like very, very good passive mods. So what have you brought for Separatists, Sam?
So I've brought my AC boys. We've got the 2 Siege of Coruscant Flak Arfot prototype in the Tri-Fighters. And so they both have Afterburners, Contingency Protocol, and Evasion Sequence 7. So obviously Afterburners 3 to 5 maneuver can do a boost even while stressed. Contingency Protocol is, after the ship is destroyed, another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 with Contingency Protocol can perform an action even while stressed. And Evasion Sequence 7 is Debris Gambit. Simple as that. They have network calculations, and their pilot ability is pretend to be a mini Suntir Fowl, or at the start of the engagement phase, if there is an enemy in your bullseye, you can gain a calculate token, which is a nice ability. Like it's a straight up good ability.
I like that. They had to rework it because the Flaxold abilities was obviously looking at dials, which AMG don't want you doing. But it's a good way of getting the i5 Tri-Fighter back on with a good. Yeah. It means you can be double calculated, which is great for the droids. Stress free, technically. You can
but not likely.
You're likely repositioning, but you can also be calculate evade. There are options there, and I like that.
A third Tri-Fighter, Volan Das, because I just want to try him out because he seems cool. And he has Elusive and a shield upgrade. And his ability is after you fully execute a red maneuver, you may choose an enemy ship at range 1. The chosen ship gains 1 strain token, and you may remove 1 stress token. And that's a really strong ability that I never use because there's never a time to use a red maneuver with this guy.
But he's still an
Which is a
I5
little unfortunate.
Tri-Fighter.
Still an I5 Tri-Fighter with modified for organics.
So it means
This
he can
ship,
focus.
which means he can focus. He's not affected by standardized, and he reduces the difficulty of your speed 2 and 3 banks, and increase the difficulty of your turn 3 turn maneuvers, which means he has an insane dial.
Yeah.
He had all of his blue. He has all the blue 2 maneuvers, and they're all blue. His 3 straights and banks are blue, and his 4 straights are blue, and his 3 hards are white, and his 1 hard is white. He has an insane dial.
That's very nice.
And he's played with him more. Rounding out the high initiative stuff, I've got Dirge with Elusive, Heavy Laser Cannon, the Xanadu Blood Title, and General Grievous crew. He's just there to live, really, and has a cannon. I don't have any more than that, really.
That's his job.
Yeah, his pilot ability is when you would be destroyed, spend a charge to reveal all your face down cards, get rid of all the direct hit and pilot crits, and repair all the face up damage cards, so you can live a little bit longer. And Dead to Rights is anyone in your bullseye cannot spend green tokens or use green tokens to modify their defense. And rounding it out, I've got 2 I1s, the Iron Assembler with energy shells, independent calculations, and grappling struts, and a Howard Child prototype with energy shells, independent calculations, and grappling struts. And they are here to get me some objective points.
Yeah. So on that, we are playing Salvage Mission. Which is interesting, actually, because Bobber and the Fire Spray kind of wants to boost. But the other 2 are okay with it. You've also got 2 droids that want to boost.
Don't really care.
That don't want to care. Dirge, I don't think hugely cares.
I think he does. I think boosting and barrel rolling is quite important when I'm trying to line up the bullseye.
I mean, I think it depends on what you play with him. I think he has the ability to play both sides. Like, depending on how the game goes, he just picks up a crate and disappears. And if you chase him and shoot him, the likelihood is he doesn't die. And
True.
But obviously, your Tri-Fighters kind of do want to reposition.
Yes.
So yeah, it'd be
very
quite
much so, actually.
So objectives are a slanted cross, basically. We've obviously got the centre. We've got one very close to my board edge on the left-hand side, slightly further up on my board edge on the right-hand side. And then almost the flip on your side as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because basically I placed my home objective as close to me as possible because I got a Vulture droid who wants it. And Sean basically pretty much did the same. And then normally I would place it at a box on the halfway line, but I actually thought he only has 3 ships, and realistically Kanan and Bobber don't want to pick it up. So I place a second on his side. Maybe a Vulture can sneak across and grab an objective.
Yeah.
That was my thinking.
So rocks. We have the 3 Pride of Mandalore and the 3 small rocks.
Yep.
And basically,
I always take Pride of Mandalore rocks.
It's the top 2 lines of a Z across, as we're looking at it, across Sam's board edge and then slanting down. So lots of open space to play with there, but also some tricky lanes to get large bases through. So yeah, quite interesting. We do overlap on initiative at I5, which is reasonably significant because that's like...
Yes, I'd say it's quite significant because it's Bobber and then all of my aces,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's what, 2/3 of your list.
Yeah.
So... But the nice thing I have is there's no other overlap, so I know my 3s are always going before those. They're always going after the 2 vultures.
Yeah.
So let's do the quick setup.
Yeah, so I set up my vultures pretty much directly opposite rocks that are near objectives. The Howard Charl is on the left-hand side, and he's going to aim at a rock to land on it, grab an objective. And the Iron Assembler is on the other side. He's going to aim at a rock, land on it, grab an objective. And probably stay there until they die.
Yeah.
And hope they get me some points.
So I set up Rookcast on the right-hand side, basically below the objective that's slightly further up, because I think he can stop turn 1, do a 2 straight turn 2, which is blue, pick it up. Happy days. And I set Kanan up, actually, over on the left, just to the left of the objective that's really close to my board edge. my thinking there is I can one straight, pick it up with him so that worst case, I'm 3-2 down on objectives.
Yeah.
And then he can, because he's at a 45 degree, he can just start fast straight and catch up with Bobber and Rogue.
Yeah.
And then your 5s.
And then my 5s. And here is... I'm going to chalk this mistake up to I don't really know how to fly aces, and I think this may be a sign that I shouldn't try flying this list for the competition that's fastly approaching, is I basically spread my I5s across the back of the board because I have no idea what I'm doing. I put the 2 flaks opposite Rook Cast, and I put Dirge and Volandas opposite Kanan, and in hindsight, I should have just piled all 4 of them opposite Kanan, with basically massively telegraphing, I'm jumping on the Kanan. I think that would have been better off because I would have had all my ship. At least I think having the ships in one spot with the option to split up is better than having them spread out and then trying to link up.
Against this list, yes, I'd agree. There's nothing wrong with setting your aces up spread out.
Yeah, but I think this specifically, like, it's identifying what I need to do because I sort of just scattered them about.
And
especially with what I do in a second.
Or maybe have another one over there, but keep one on one side as a flanking ace.
I guess actually, realistically, what it should be, the Tri-Fighters should probably be together. Like, all 3 of them, even Volan, even though he can't share the calculates.
Yeah.
Like, the Tri-Fighters are all as fast as each other. Whereas Dirge is slightly slower, so he's slightly tankier, so he can just be on his own for a bit. I shouldn't have split 2 and 2.
Yeah. So after that, I set Bobber up just to the left of Rook, so that he can go up. I'm going to jump him a little bit far ahead because of the way Sam's set up his Tri-Fighters. I'm expecting them to come down the right-hand board edge. I'm expecting the Vulture Droid to sit on the rock in front of him. If I can get in a position where I can tap out the front and then Veteran Tail out the back into the Tri-Fighter, happy days. Bobber's making the most of his ability and his, just the innate fire spray chassis. And keeping those together gives Kanan an easier chance to link up with them, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we roll off for turn 1, and I am first player. And I actually just need to speed this up a little bit because I haven't done that yet. So let's get up to 8 times. Away we go.
So I do a 3 straight with the Iron Assembler, just miss the rock and stare at myself thinking, how on earth have I done that? So I barrel roll to the right, land directly on the objective with the intention of I'm just going to turn around and grab it next turn.
See, interestingly, I thought you were just going to turn onto the rock the next turn.
Yes. Well, with where Bobber ends up, I think that going onto that rock is a waste of time. I'd rather just head away and try and distract you with the Tri-Fighter.
Oh, see, I agree. But the funny, like, if I hadn't have thought you were going on the rock, I wouldn't have jumped so far. But anyway.
Then the Howard Child does a 2 straight, lands on the rock, and double calculates. But he knows exactly what he's doing next turn.
So then it goes my entire list. Rook does his stop, the 1 straight and a focus from Kanan, and a 2 straight from Bobber. Because I didn't want to jump too far ahead and have Bobber and, just be by himself, because despite the fact he's good, eventually you'll plink the damage through. I do need to keep Rook with him and give Kanan a chance to catch back up.
Dirge does a 5 straight in cloaks. Volan does a 4 straight and boosts. And then in a fit of hilarity, I mix up my flaks. So what the intention was the outer one was going to do a 2 straight, barrel roll, free evade, and I can curve around the rock or turn in, whilst the inner one does a 1 hard and comes behind the rock. But I dialed in the opposite maneuvers, so I end in a weird spot where my inner guy does a 2 straight to the rock, barrel rolls out to allow the outer flak to 1 hard in, and I think I just take a calculate or do nothing effectively. But I'm in a similar position. I can sort of come around the rock in various ways, but I have now pigeonholed my one of my flaks to coming outside the rock into the face of Bobber and Rook, and that's not something I particularly want to risk.
We should note that the Merciless Pursuit condition is on both of the flak Tri-Fighters. So we go into turn 2. And Yeah, because I'm going to jump Rook forward. Bobber can go forward. Now, Kanan, like, much as I want to do a one straight and pick up that crate, I'm actually like, okay, I'm going to get jumped on by the Tri-Fighter if I do that. So he's just got to go a bit faster.
Volan's coming.
So we go into turn 2, and I am first player again. So it's still your I1s, though.
Yeah. So the Iron Assembler does a 1 hard to the left and picks up the box. The Howard Charles stays on the rock and picks up the box.
For anyone watching on YouTube, we're just using the energy to donate who's got a box, so it's nice and clear. Then
and that lines up the Iron Assembler to just do a 2 straight onto another rock and just stay there.
So Rook does do his 2 straight and picks up the box that he's on, just so that I'm not falling behind. Kanan does a 3 bank, just trying to put some distance. Like, I thought you might 3 bank down with the Tri-Fighter and boost, so I just wanted to get as much distance as I could. I actually boost just to get that a little bit further. Bomber then does a 4 straight and boost to jump in.
Start gunning. So I do a 2 straight with my outer flak. I then boost to the left and link it to a calculator because I'm like, okay, if shooting's happening, let's start shooting. I then do a 3 bank with the other flak. I believe I just do a. I don't think I have to bonus here. I think I just do a boost into a calculate. And I've lined up the bullseye onto Bobber, so I've got 2 shots onto Bobber. We can start doing something nasty. Volan does a 4 straight, barrel rolls towards the center to try and line up Kanan next round because he hasn't got any shots, and Dirge does a 2 bank and then boosts in towards the center, ready to decloak next round and try and start putting some damage in.
Yeah. So we go to the shooting in this round, and it is. Oh no, we check for bullseyes for your abilities and
my flaks, and I get 1 calculate.
Then Bobber starts shooting. He goes into the Iron Assembler at range 2, rolls 1 hit.
I roll 1 evade. Then the flak starts shooting, and I take range 2 obstructed into Bobber because to me, shooting Rook, I'd only have 1 shot, and then I'd just be making your crackback hurt harder. So I was like, let's see if we can chip some free damage off Bobber. Start burning Kanan's force.
So I do Kanan that to remove a dice to make it 2, so 2 on 3.
I get a single hit.
I roll 2 focuses and I spend a force.
So then another range 2 from my flak.
Which I Kanan as well to make it 2.
And I get single crits, and you roll 2 evades.
I roll 2 evades. So then we go to the 3s. Rook takes a strain to trigger his ability. Goes range 3 into green. Rolls blank focus. Spends his ability and a force for 2 hits. Which you dodge.
I roll 2 evades.
And that is it. So you score 2 to my 1 on objectives. But I'm kind of alright with that, because Bobber's now where he wants to be. In the thick of it.
And here, I think, is probably this. I think this turn is my biggest mistake of this game.
Okay. I'm curious who with, but we'll...
Yellow.
Yeah, okay. If you do what I think you do, yeah. So we go into that turn 3, and you're first player this turn. So that's great. Bobber gets to move after everyone. Happy days.
Happy days indeed. So the Howard Charles. I decloak Dirge to the left with the intention of just going forwards because I'm pretty sure Bobber's going to be in front of me somewhere.
Yeah.
I was just trying to line up the heavy laser cannon. The Howard Child rotates 90 degrees to the left to look at Bobber. The Iron Assembler does a 2 straight onto the Mustache Rock and double calculates, flipping his struts. So, bam, the Voltage Droids are in the spaces. They will remain until the day they die.
Yeah. I do a 2 straight with the Gauntlet. It sticks me quite close to the rock, but I know I can just stop rotate next turn, so, Gauntlet doesn't really care about that too much. Ditches the strain, and I think I just take a focus. Kanan does a 3 bank, just trying to get him because I knew that Volan was going to hard turn in, so I just wanted to try and get as much distance ironically, forgot I was stressed, so was thinking about the boost round the rock, and then remembered I was stressed when the stress token moved with me, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
So my green flak tries to do a 4 straight to clear the stress. And actually no, here's the second minor mistake is I'm flying a flak, and I'm pretty sure I was aiming my bullseye at where I thought Kanan was going to do. I should have dialed in the 5 straight just to clear rook, to make sure I cleared rook.
Yeah.
Because I was going to get the calculate. I either wasn't going to get the calculate because you're not in my bullseye, or I wasn't going to get the calculate because I bumped into something. Like
I suppose
I should have gone for dodging the arc rather than
getting the better shot, because at least
clearing the stress.
Yeah, but at least you can, like, bumping into rook means that you can mod your dice against Kanan.
That is true.
Whereas if you bumped into Kanan,
and it does mean I effectively have 2 calculates, because I can take the red calculate, and then rook at the very least is in my bullseye, so I can get another calculate at the start of engagement. But I do think I should have tried to clear rook rather than hedging for extra mods, even if it would have put me into Bobber's arc in theory.
Yeah.
And then I 3 hard with my yellow flak. I afterburner's boost to the left, and I pick up the box. And this is a mistake on several levels. I shouldn't have 3 harded. I should have just 2 straighted. I was sort of desperately trying not to bump into Bobber. I actually think it's probably fine if I bumped into Bobber. I think I should 2 straighted, taken the red calculate, and just accepted that, because realistically, Bobber is going to shoot at me no matter where I am in this angle. And all I've done now is kind of abandon that side, and I'm facing the wrong way, and it's going to be really awkward to turn around.
Yeah.
And
also, Bobber's much less effective at range 0.
Yes, that's true. But
attack,
but you hadn't moved yet, so I just assumed you'd fly over me, and then blap 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 blap. But I should have still gone for that, because in hindsight, this list just needs to shoot. You just need to throw as much red dice as possible and start reducing shots coming at you. Because if you can do that, you won't lose the really fragile tri-fighters.
Yeah.
And the biggest mistake, I shouldn't have picked up the box. This is the droid swarm player inside me playing. I shouldn't have picked up the box on the tri-fighter, because the tri-fighter needs to reposition.
Yeah. Because it actually comes in clutch, like it
comes in a lot,
at least once, if not twice.
Every single turn after this turn, I think every single turn after this turn, I should have dropped the box.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, at this point in the game, it looks like I can just objective it, but at some point during the next few turns, I should have dropped the box and just been like, the 1 point I get from this box is not worth being unable to boost and barrel roll.
Yeah.
But I don't do that. Volan Dast does a 2 hard, boosts and focuses, just trying to line up a shot onto Kanan. And unfortunately for me, Dirge has gone before Bobber, so I do my 3 straight and just take a focus, because I don't know where Bobber's going to end up.
So Bobber does a 1 bank, because my thinking here was I know where the vultures are going. So try and get a shot on the vultures. I knew green would be somewhere down there, so hopefully again getting the front back shots going.
Yeah.
But I do that and I look at it and go, I'm not sure that vulture's at range 1, and I kind of want it to be for the rerolls. But also, like, I'm reasonably sure that Dirge's bullseye clips my rear end. But I'm not sure that boost fits. Like the straight, I can boost to the right, but then I'm not getting 2 shots.
Anything. Well, actually, you'd be shooting yellow.
I can shoot out the back, but if I can get 2 shots, I'd rather get 2 shots, and I'd rather have the shot on the vulture because it's more likely to die.
Yeah.
So in the end, I just plump for it and go for the boost, and it does fit.
So I check my bullseyes on the flaks that matter, and I get an extra calculate on my green flak. And then we start shooting into Kanan.
Yeah. So it's Volan first, which I do Kanan down to 2 dice. Actually, I did that because I figured he's got the focus, so he's got the better mods. But actually, green with 2 calculates is probably the same. So those are, I think,
especially if you're putting them, if you're putting it down to 2 dice, I feel like unless I roll 3 focuses, then like
yeah. But,
two calculates and the focus as a function identical.
Yeah.
So I roll a single hit and you roll an evade. Then I get a range 2 shot from the flak into Kanan. I get crit, focus, blank, and I spend a calculate for hit crit.
I roll 2 evades.
Then Dirge takes a range 3 shot into Kanan. I think I roll like a single hit with a focus, and you roll 3 evades.
Yeah. Kanan's green's on fire this round. Absolutely on fire.
Yep. I mean, this game. I think we can say. I feel like he is the single reason your green dice was so high at the end of this game.
What were they?
Because Bobbler and Rook.
They were like 5. I was 5 up, wasn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just game because I don't think Bobber and Rook were particularly stellar on the green dice.
No. So it does go to Bobber now, and he's gone to range 1 into the back of blue. I roll hit, focus. Blank. I Bobber 1 into a blank, and then I change 1 to a crit with a slave 1 title. So hit crit. And 1
I
evade.
roll a single evade, so I take a crit, which is direct hit, which means I do drop the box.
You drop the box. I then Veteran Tail Gunner into the Tri-Fighter. I roll hit, focus, blank. Bobber the blank because I'm range 1 of the Vulture into a hit. Spend the falls for 3 hits.
I get 2 evades, so I take a damage on Mr. Green.
Now, anyone watching the overlay, ignore it for a minute because we hadn't quite clocked that Volan was green and not one of the flaks. So I start taking damage off Volan, but we do sort it out later. It's all good. Then we go to my 3s. And I do Rook first, range 0 into the Vulture. No point in taking strains because I can't mod. And I roll nothing. Kanan doesn't have a shot. So it goes to the 1s.
Yep, and I just put an energy shell into Bobber from the Howard Shell. I roll hit, focus, spend both my calculates for hit, crit.
It's obstructed, so I've got 3, and I roll 3 of 8. So, happy days.
Happy days. 4-2 on objectives to me. And I'm in an okay spot. My attacks are bouncing a little too much is the problem.
Yeah, I think that round of greens, I wouldn't say won me the game, but certainly made your job a lot harder, because if Kanan had not even died, taken some serious damage, like, you know, you had three hits pumped into him. He only had 1 force for mod, which he used to lower a defense dice.
Yeah.
And took no damage, so... but yeah, we go into turn 4.
Yeah, and now we're on basically each turn where I do not drop the box on this flak is a mistake. Like, it actually just is a mistake. As much as I'm like, at this point, it seems okay because, hey, I was 2-1 up. I was 3-1 up before the shooting started. So I could feasibly get this on objectives, but this list just, like... doesn't want to do it, so I need to drop this box because I plan my move with this guy under the assumption that I can use afterburners, which I can't, which really screws up where he ends up.
Like, even if you wanted to keep the box at this point, I think I drop it with the Tri-Fighter, and then next turn you pick it up with Dirge.
Yes, exactly.
So, but we go in, and you are first player again. So it's your droids.
So the Howard Charles stays where he is and double calculates. The Iron Assembler rotates 90 degrees to face Kanan and Rook, fixes one of his damages with his ability, and takes 2 calculates.
Rook stops, does a rotate. I should have contrabanded here so that I could have taken a focus, but hey-ho.
And you got the Force.
A 1 bank from Kanan a 1 bank from Kanan to ditch the stress and take a focus, which I link into a rotate.
I do a 3k with my box carrying Flak Arfok, and I think I've lined up this perfect afterburners into Kanan, and then you remind me that boxes can't boost. So I, in fact, just sit sadly. My green flak tries to do a 2 hard around Rook and then bumps into Kanan, unfortunately. Dirge does a I believe that is a too hard to the left, trying to catch Bobber, and I focus and barrel roll to the left because I think Bobber is going to end up a little bit further to the left than where he does in a second, unfortunately. I was trying to line up the bullseye. The flak you bumped into, Kanan takes a red calculate. Volan does a 2-bank, which is blue, thanks to his ability. The good old built for organics, and then takes a focus. But he's staring in front of Rookcast and Kanan, which is a little bit sad at the minute.
And then Bobber does a 2-bank behind the blue vulture, which sits him range 1 of the pink of the Howchild. Yep, and range 1 at the back. So I thought the 2-bank might take me a little bit further. I thought there's a chance I bump into pink, the Howchild, which I was kind of okay with. Like, if I can get the range 1 shot at the back into the Iron Assembler, great. The fact it hasn't is just a bonus. And we go to start of engagement.
I check my bullseye for my flak and just miss Kanan.
Yeah.
And my bullseye for Dirge just misses Bobber.
I mean, because we're range 1, you can't fire the HLC, and I'm not hugely fussed about dead to rights because Bobber reroll and force is as good, I suppose.
Yeah, but like, I would rather have dead to rights than not. If you spend the force rather than the focus. Like, that is at least one mod that you can't use in this double tap that my vultures are about to eat. But as is, I just range 1. Hit, crit, focus, spend the focus for hit, crit.
I blank out. So 3 shields on Bob. Oh no. Bobber reroll for 1 evade, so 2 shields on Bobber.
Then my box carrying flak has a range 3 into Kanan. I get hit, crit, blank.
I roll trail mix and spend his focus for 2 evades.
Then I have a range 0 into Kanan, so blank, focus, so nothing. And then Volan has a range 1 into Rook and a range 1 into Kanan, and I know this is getting Kanan down, so I just take the shot into Kanan because at this point I've committed. I got to actually like deal damage to something, and shooting Rook doesn't get me anything.
Yeah, I spend the force here to just keep it at 3 dice.
I roll hit, blank.
I roll 1 evade, and so take a shield.
First blood.
Then Bobber anyway. Double taps. So range 1 out of the front. I roll hit, focus, blank, blank. So I Bobber reroll the blank, the 2 blanks and the focus. And actually, maybe I shouldn't have rerolled the focus, but I figured I've got fearless. But
I think you shouldn't have rerolled the focus.
I should have kept because I've got a focus. I've got a focus. I think if I just reroll the 2 blanks, the likelihood of them, or the odds of them both being blanks, are low. So if one is, I fearless it, and then the other focus if needs be. But I don't. I roll all 3, and I roll them into 3 hits.
So that is 4 hits in total. I roll blank focus, and so I go down. So the Howchild is gone.
I then Veteran Tail Gunner. I roll crit, hit, blank, blank. Reroll the 2 blanks into hit focus. Spend the force for 4 because that guarantees it.
Yep, and I roll blank focus. So both the Howchild and the Iron Assembler are dead.
So that's like, for me, that was quite a big swing because not only is it the 4, it's only 4 points, I suppose, for them dying, but it's 2 of your objectives as well.
Yeah. 2 of my objective holders, 2 just dudes, and in theory, had you not killed them both, the Iron Assembler then just fixes both of us by 1 and makes them just that little bit more harder to kill.
Because that would have been range 1, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Man, I should remember that when I stuck the rock so close.
That's why I aimed for that spot originally. Nice. I was like, we'll just plop the Iron Assembler here, but he's not likely to one-shot everything, ironically. So I should at least make it take two rounds. But here we are. Both dead.
So then we go to the 3s, and Rook takes a strain for his ability, goes range 1 into green, because green's taken some damage. I roll hit, crit, blank, focus, spend his ability in the force for 3 and a crit.
I get 2 evades and a blank, which means I take hit crit and I go down. But using contingency protocol, I allow the yellow flak to take a target lock, and I lock Kanan.
Kanan then has a range 1 shot out the back into Volan. He rolls 3 hits.
I roll evade. I roll focus. Blank blank. Spend my focus and elusive for another blank, so I get 1 evade in total. So I lose my shield and take a damage. That's not treacherous on the overlay, by the way. That is elusive. I knew there was a difference.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. That must be because I was using the old list and. Because funny enough, I looked halfway up through that going, he's got treacherous. I wonder if you've. No, fair. So we both score a point at the end of that turn, and it is 11-5 in my favour now. And at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, you're focusing on Kanan, but I'm kind of all right with that now.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was like, I have to kill something, and Kanan is the easiest to kill. If I can kill Kanan, then maybe I can work on one of the others.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Kanan is, no matter what you shoot at, he's always going to be part of it. So I may as well shoot him.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I fly against these kind of lists, like if I can, I try and jump on Kanan because he just makes everything so much more of a wet fish when it's hitting. But yeah, so we're going to turn 5, and your first player again. And system phase, I drop a proton bomb. Because I kind of figured, because you can't really turn left with the rock. Oh, I mean, you could go over the rock.
I can one hard.
I would have thought that would have clipped the rock, but...
I think that was clear.
We'll find that in a minute. But I drop it just because I thought you were going right. I then one bank with Kanan. Ditch the stress. I then actually boost because I'm trying to get a bump onto yellow flak.
Yep, that makes sense.
I one bank with Rook to ditch the stress and the strain and take a focus. Flip my wings back down.
I do a 3 hard with Volan because I wasn't stressed last time, thank the scars. But I'm not in a particularly great spot. I'm directly in front of Rook cast. I've got 2 health left. So I'm just like, you know what? If Kanan doesn't go down this round, I'm probably not winning anyway, so boost calculate.
And then I think
focus. Boost focus.
And then your yellow flak bumps.
Yep.
And you decide not to take the red calculate?
Yeah, not to take the red calculate, because I'm going to get one anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm not sure I'm probably not getting shot this round.
So Doge did a 1 hard to the right, and I think that's close if you'd gone left as to whether that clips.
It'd have been close.
But still stressed, so no action. And then Bobber just does a 2 straight. Basically, I just wanted to jump away from the bomb over that rock. And I think the 1 may have left me on it. And just preserve the rear arc. And I take a focus. So the bomb goes off.
The bomb goes off, clips a shield off Dirge.
Like, it's all I thought it was going to do, but, start making an impact. We check for range, you get the thing. And Dirge gets a shot.
Yeah. Range 3 into Rook, why not? I roll focus crit, so single crit.
3 of 8. I notorious you.
The range 0. Oh yeah, you notorious me. Then I range 0 into Kanan with the flak. 2 hits.
I roll 1 of 8, so 1 more shield. That shield's gone. I take a stress to get a force back.
Yep, and then you immediately spend it to reduce Volan's range 1 to range 2, effectively. So this was I roll crit.
Yeah, this was the shot I was worried about. So by taking that stress, I've got 2 force, so I can spend 1 on his ability, still have 1 for a mod.
Yeah.
But I roll 2 of 8. So I take... No, just 2 of 8, so it dodges. Bobber does a range 3 shot into Volan. Spends a force for 2 hits.
I get a single evade, so I take a damage, down to 1.
And then Rook takes a strain for his ability. Range 2's into Volan. Rolls hit, blank, uses his ability for 3 hits.
I roll evade, focus, blank. So I don't bother spending the focus. Because I'm taking at least 1 damage, so Volan is dead.
And we both score a point. and it's currently 16-6.
Yeah. And I should have, again, dropped this box before I scored the point, because that 1 point is not going to help me.
So we roll off for turn 6, and I'm first player this turn. I kind of feel like the previous 3 turns was the ones where the player order made the difference.
It made some difference, but on the flip side, most of my 5s weren't going for Bobber.
Yeah.
Like, really, it's only really affected the Dirge v Bobber matchup, essentially.
Yeah. But I suppose it would have given me the opportunity to react had you turned in on Bobber. And that was the big sort of... Those 3 turns were the sort of the melee initial bit. But it's straight to my 3s. And a 1 bank from Kanan to ditch one of the stress. What was that? I think that was a 2 straight from...
yeah, that's 2 straight because they can't do a 1.
They can't do a 1. Ditches the strain. And I take a target lock onto the flak. Bobber does a 1 hard and boosts round to bring his art back in.
So Dirge does a 1 bank straight through the rock, takes the last shield, but nothing else. And then I just take a focus onto Dirge. The flak does a 1 talon to the left, lining up the bullseye with Kanan.
Nice. Gets the calculate at the start of the engagement.
Now, if this had been Volan doing that, it would have been even more glorious, as I would have taken away my stress, given you a strain. Everything would have been fantastic.
Yep.
But it's not. This is the flak.
Bobber goes range 2. Spends a force for 2 hits.
I get trail mix, and I spend my calculate for 2 evades.
Which is good. I've made you drop your mod for your attack coming back in.
So I just have the target lock that I got a couple of turns ago.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that target lock.
Yeah. Contingency protocol! Anyway, Dirge takes a range 1 into Rook. I get hit focus blank, spend my focus for 2 hits.
I get 1 evade, so I take a shield. I Notorious You for a strain.
The black range 1's into Kanan, and you force it to be range 2. I get hit crit blank, and I spend a lock for another blank, so just 2.
I roll evade blank, so I take the crit. It is a damaged engine. I then get a range 1 shot out the back with Kanan, and I roll 3 blanks. And then Rook takes a strain, does the range 1 into the Tri-Fighter, rolls blank, hit crits, uses his ability for 2 hits and a crit. And you roll 3 evades.
3 evades. So, proving that not only Kanan can roll 3 evades.
Ironically, if you'd let the crit go through, it would have done you a favour and made you drop the...
That is the sad irony here, isn't it? Because I don't drop the box, because I'm like, hey, if Kanan and Rook die, maybe we can do this. I mean, like I said, you got to play to your outs, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the heavy laser cannon starts pulling weight on Rook. Because I've had my gauntlet go down like a rock, so...
Yeah. Oh, no, they very much can.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not likely.
we score a point each in the end phase. It's 17-7. And we go to turn 7, and I'm first player. Kanan does a 3 straight. Clears his stress, takes a focus. Rook does attempts a 1 bank, bumps into Dirge, takes the red focus. Bobber does a 3 bank, which just bumps into the yellow Tri-Fighter, and takes the red focus.
Dirge does a 5k, lands directly behind Rook. No, that's all I got. And then the flak does a 2 hard to the right, just behind Bobber. And again, I lament that I'm still carrying a box because I really want to barrel roll. But instead, I decide that I'm probably taking 3 shots on my flak. I don't think an evade or a calculate will save me. So I just take a target lock onto Kanan and just go for aggro.
Spoilers, it would have saved you.
Yes, it would have. But at the same time, I would it have.
So, Bobber's
I check the bullseye and I don't quite have it.
Bobber does the range 3 shot out the front into Dirge. Bobber rerolls for hit crit.
I get evade blank. I think I elusive here.
No, I don't think you do.
Oh, wow. Well, whatever. Or I've already spent it, maybe. I can't remember.
But no longer strained. So yeah,
Yep, that's true.
punch 1 damage through because you General Grievous the crit.
Yep.
Then I double tap out the bat, range 1 into the Tri-Fighter. I roll blank, blank, focus, focus. I re-roll 1 blank with Bobber into a crit, spend the focus for hit, hit, crit.
I take evade, evade, focus. So, haha, calculator evade. I would have taken no damage, but I take the crit, which is a Winded Pilot, and I drop the box. Then I range 1, but secretly range 2 into Kanan. I get hit, focus, focus, and hopefully spend the target lock for, here we go, for hit blank. So 2 hits into Kanan.
I roll evade blank, so I take 1 more, and Kanan is on 1.
Yep. Dirge fires his heavy laser cannon into Rook. I get crit, hit, focus, focus. I pretend to spend a focus because I'm looking at the board and I see one next to my ship, but it's actually Rook cast, so I can't spend it. Ultimate sadness.
So 2 hits in the end, and Rook rolls 2 evades. And then I take a strain. I kind of... Oh, I read Notorious You from...
Yeah.
For this round. I kind of want to go into Dirge, but I know that's not the play. So I go range 2 into the Tri-Fighter. I roll 2 hits on a blank. His ability for 3.
I roll 3 evades.
Oh, and this is Kanan. Kanan, yeah, range 1 out the back. 2 hits.
And I roll 3 blanks, so the flak dies.
And that tips me over the edge. I score a point for the objective, and it ends 22-7.
Yep.
Which I'm not entirely sure is an appropriate...
No, I think it is because I wasn't able to actually get all of my ships shooting at Kanan in one go. It was always 2 and 1 can't quite shoot, 2 and 1 can't quite shoot, or 2 and 1 has a bad shot.
So interestingly, we did have a sneaky look at the dice stats at the end of this, purely because I wanted to see my greens, because I felt, especially that early bit, and watching back, I think so, that round where Kanan threw exactly what he needed for 3 shots. And I was 5 up on that.
Yeah.
And I think you were 2 down, so like a 7 swing. But interestingly, I was -7 on the reds.
So, but here's the interesting thing that I think it doesn't matter is that Rook almost every round used his ability, so a blank was actually...
No, that's what I mean. Like, I'm just saying how good the passive mods in this list are, was the fact that I was -7 and still actually punching very, very hard.
Yeah, because with Bobber having Fearless and Rook cast ability, your blanks were secretly hits.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. Like, But no, it was interesting. Like, my mistake, I shouldn't have picked up the box. I was just in, like, Separatist swarm, grab boxes, score by objectives, don't score by killing. Because no, this list I'm playing, it needs to kill. And I reckon had I not picked up the box, the 3k Afterburners boost could have, like, actually seriously done damage to Kanan.
Yeah, for sure. I was dreading that when, like, because you did it, and I was like, right, your boost's in, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, hang on. And then it's only when you boosted and you went that damn energy token because it was in the way. Yeah. I was like, oh hang on, he's got a box. So
and it was like it was just like it was like, oh yeah, I guess I'll have to burn as a pick up the box. It's just why did you do it? It's so stupid on these ships.
No, what I think that means is you just need to play the list more to get out of the droid swarm mindset.
Or put Flax into a swarm because they do have networked for a reason.
Or put the Flax into a swarm. But I need you to play this list and justify it's got legs, Sam. Because then
I mean, there's a secret part of me that's looking at replacing the Howard Charl and Volan Dart with Sunfac.
No. You need the 3 Tri-Fighters, and I don't care what else you have in, because I need you to justify me buying 2 more Tri-Fighters. But no,
very well. Challenge accepted.
It was an interesting game.
I hope you're okay me tanking our Hexiled.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna. I mean, I might do well. We'll have to wait and see. But no. I enjoyed the game. The Scum list is good. I will keep playing it Funnily enough, actually, probably only on the podcast episodes because I'll be using club nights to practice for Sith Takers, where I think I'm likely taking Republic. So I've got a few lists to try there. But we'll see. And the bonus means, come January, we will have some non-me and Sam games to watch. Yeah, please record the right screen this time, Sam.
I'll try to.
But yeah, no, it should be good.
No promises.
I'm looking forward to this. I like team events, things like that. It's always fun. So
it's always fun. And
I think there might be a second tin team, so that'll just make it extra spicy.
Oh, that'd be quite spicy.
So yeah. But I think that wraps it up for this week. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I need to give this a go. I think I flew it badly. The dice didn't help, but like that's not a reason to do like.
Oh no, for sure.
I'll work out flying it, then I'll start blaming dice.
That's fair.
I think I need to work on the Volan build. I don't know what to build on Volan because he has so many options and so many ways you want to build him. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, but he's a 3 health tri-fighter, so put that shield upgrade on him, young man.
Yeah, I mean, my initial go-to was whatever illicit you want a Notorious, because if this list needs to punch.
Yeah,
you just
the only problem
punch.
I have is like that Notorious often happens when you're getting shot at, and I know in theory you should be able to do it with your ability, but like I don't think it's going to come up as often as I want it to.
Maybe not. Yeah. But I think I think it's probably worth a look at. Treacherous, I mean, instead of Elusive, might be worth a look at. Just hanging behind the other Tri-Fighters.
Yeah,
and then
that is something to look at.
If an opponent gets a ship in the way, great, Treacherous them, but. It's probably better that one of your flaks takes a damage than Volan does. So
true, that is true.
But yeah,
Separatists have so many options. I'm looking at a contingency protocol list that I'm really wanting to try.
Well, there you go. There's next week's episode. You should. Although we're still waiting on your Need for Speed list. So
look. Unfortunately, Tony has the FO part of our Hexiled team, so I can't Need for Speed in the tournament. And I do actually need to come up with a decent list for this tournament, because we're going to do well, right? That's the plan, right?
Damn straight.
Exactly,
right.
Then I need to do well.
And on Sam and mine's mindless optimism there, we will call it. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.